Hey, everybody. Coach Mike here with my newest podcast version, so to speak. Coach Mike's always improving. Happy New Year to you. It's great to be here. I didn't go out and party last night. I'm getting too old for that. I sit home and watch TV, watch everybody else party. But I hope whatever you did, you were safe, you had fun, celebrated friends and family in the new year. This is the year that the Lord has made, and I'm going to rejoice in it. And I got a special guest today. We're going to talk about improvement because that's what this podcast is about. And I'll tell you more about what's going to happen starting next week. This is just to get the new year going. So I brought in my friend Chris Goldby of the Hickory Algorithm, and because we're both coaches. We did a little sports coaching this year and had a lot of fun. And we sort of mesh. We're different people. He's got some different likes and things, but brings a different perspective. But we're both about getting better and helping other people get better. Chris Goldby, welcome to Coach Mike's Always Improving.
Thanks for having me, Coach Mike. Yeah, man, we did some good things during that baseball season, man. We might have to run it back. You never know. You know what I mean?
Hey, how many of the kids do we get back?
I don't know. They haven't even started sign-ups yet. I've been asking.
I'm still surprised they only have two teams, but hey, we'll take what it is,
Yeah, you ain't kidding, man. But yeah, I appreciate you having me on and Happy New Year. And I couldn't agree more, man. 9:00 is bedtime. I don't care what holiday it is. 9:00 is bedtime for me.
I go to bed usually around 10 or 11 now. I'll go to bed. So New Year's, I'll go to bed early, but I might wait back up to watch the ball drop,
That's discipline, man. It's once I'm in bed, there's no chance. Because once you get up, how do you go back to sleep? Can you go right back to sleep?
Yes and no. I guess when you get my age, it's a little bit different. I got my patches I wear now, my Life Waves, and one thing I've noticed about that, I used to take a liquid over-the-counter thing to help me sleep a little better. And one of the things I noticed with these is I go to sleep quicker and I sleep better. And I'll still wake up it's almost like clockwork, like 3 hours later. But the thing I've noticed is I'm not tired. And I can go back to sleep. It might take me a little bit, but I wake up, but I'm sleeping better. And so that's the cool thing about it. And hey, it is what it is. And when you're going to find out, Chris, you get a little bit older, all of a sudden it's like you're going to wake up 2 or 3 times in the middle of the night, whether you want to or not,
I do that more than I care to admit now anyway.
Chris, when it comes to improve, we talk, as coaches, we like to win. Coaches want to win everything, right? And some coaches think that's the most important thing. And I guess it depends where you're at, what level. But whether it's business or personal or sports or whatever, what do you rank the things? There's winning or success. There's improvement. There's learning. Where does improvement fit into everything?
I think there has to be one growth, improvement. I think that's the same thing. Because I feel like if you're growing, no matter what you're doing, whether it's baseball, whether it's business, whether it's thinking outside the box on something, you're gonna, as long as you're getting better at it, and if you can do that as a collective, as a group, I think the winning will come with it. That's not saying that winning is not important, but yeah, I think that's where I'd put it. Where would you put it?
I'm right with you there because we all start at different levels, and I used to tell some of my teams that whether it's travel ball or was high school or whatever, but the same thing applies in business. There's only one national championship ultimately in any organization. There's only going to be one that's number one. So the chance of you getting there, I mean, obviously we all should be striving to get there, but the chance of actually getting it is pretty tough because you can't control the other teams, the other people, the other competitors, whether it's business or sports. You can't control the weather. You can't control so many things in our lives. I learned this a long time ago. You can only control 2 things. That's your attitude and your effort.
Yeah, and that's in all walks of life, right? I mean,
That's right.
you can only control those things. I mean, even today, even we all say we're going to start our new year off right, But I'm sure you encountered something just like I encountered something today that you're like, oh, great, the year's gonna start like this, right? Like we've all had that happen to us before. But if you just keep on, knowing that you can only control what you can control, and you getting better and improving and helping the people around you improve, you're gonna overcome a lot more than you think.
Chris, I hate to shoot down your bubble today. I had a blessing you would not believe today. And I don't know whether it was a matter of me paying enough for my deductible or whether it was Donald Trump prices. But I had to go pick up my 3-month subscription of Eloquist today. It usually costs me around $400 or $500. Today it was $12 and change.
Did you dance?
And
Did you hit the cartwheel or what?
Oh man! I mean, when I came home, I told Diane, I says, what do you think it was? And she said, well, I'm guessing $50 a month, because I don't know if Trump supposedly brought things down or whatever. I said, guess again. It was $12 total for 3 months. I go, whoa, baby.
Yeah, that's a game changer for sure, man. Well, that's good.
Hey, it is.
That's how you start a year off right there, man.
You got it. But yes, improvement is so important, because what do they say in business, Chris? If you're not improving, if you're staying still, you're losing. You're going backwards.
Yeah, time ain't waiting for you, man. It's gonna if you stop, it's just gonna go by you, and people are gonna pass you up, and opportunities are gonna fade away. You just got to keep getting better and better, and that way you can get more and more opportunities, no matter what that is. You just can control what you can, and man, as I get older, I sound more and more like those coaches. You know what I mean? They're standing at the podium. It's like, oh, all we gotta do is improve, But it really is that simple.
The key is getting the steps to how you're going to improve. You can't just say we're going to do it and then sit back and it's going to happen. No.
Yeah, and that was something I really look forward to. I wrote down all my goals for 2026 and really fleshed them out more than I have any other year, and really got down to personal goals, business goals, and really got down to what that looks like. But when you step back and you look at all these goals, because you can fill a dry erase board if you go long enough. But how do you do that? How do you do that? And I peel back the curtain enough where I started doing daily schedules, but instead of my daily schedule starting, at midnight the night before, I have it starting 7 p.m. the night before, and it goes 7 to 7. So because I needed something to prepare me for the next day. I needed to write down 2 things, no matter what they were, I wanted to get accomplished when I got home from work, because it's so easy to come home from work, or and you're in somebody, if you're working all day in the creative shack, or you're doing those kind of things, to just go inside and not help with laundry, or not help with dinner, or not just sort of decompress because you've been working all day. But so I start my day with 2 things, and no matter what, on my sheet of paper, there's only 1 thing that I don't change, and the 3rd thing I do on that list is sleep. So that changes my whole day to accomplish my goals. I needed to start my day earlier. If I'm going to do this, I needed to start my day the day before, and do it like that all year. That's the only way I'm going to accomplish all this craziness that I have, on the dry erase board for goals. So I agree with you that sometimes you have to dive so deep into something, because you have to come up with a system of it. You can't just say, I'm going to start tomorrow and away we go. How many times have we done that in our life? You know what I mean? It's I can't even fathom how many times I was like, I'm going to eat better tomorrow, or I'm going to work out tomorrow, or I'm going to, do better tomorrow. And then, tomorrow hits you like a bag of bricks, man. And then you go right back to it again. So that's what I had to do to really accomplish my goals. I didn't think I would do that, but as you sit down and you're looking how you're going to achieve these things, I needed more self-discipline to start the day before. So yeah, that's what I have planned for this year.
You're picking on me now. You hit my weak spot.
What's that?
I've been a procrastinator half my life. The other half I'm still waiting for. But
yeah, there you go. There you go.
do like that. Chris,
There you
I have
go.
over the years, because I'm an old guy, and over the years I've been to a lot of seminars, webinars, trainings, whatever. And maybe I missed one before. I don't think so, because I got a pretty good memory. But I think you're about the first person I've run into. I saw your Substack the other day when you were writing that out, that said I start my day at 7 o'clock the night before. And I thought about that. I said, wow, that does, I mean, I've planned the night before, say, here's what I want to do tomorrow stuff, but to put it down like you did, I thought that was really interesting. And man, that could make such a difference, because now when you get up the next morning, I got this accomplished, now I need to go here.
Yeah, it's a little, you hear some military guys sometimes say, make your bed. You hear them say, as soon as you get up, make your bed, because you accomplish something as soon as you wake up. That little hit of dopamine just starts your day. And, I'm not that disciplined. I like coming home and seeing my bed the way it was when I got home. Sometimes it's super comfy.
Make your bed, what's that?
Yeah, right. I was like, whoa, man, that's a lot already. But if I wake up and I know that I accomplished, and I look at my to-do list and I look at it and I've already accomplished 2 things and I just woke up, now all of a sudden I might be a little bit more willing to go to the gym. It's like, well, if I did that already, or maybe I can, take that walk around and take the kids out and do that a little bit more, because I did all these things already, and then when I come home, my day's over at 7 o'clock. So when it's over at 7 o'clock, I start my list for the next day and I'm writing down the 2 things. Basically, as soon as I stand up, I'm going to go do it.
And you don't have to play catch up, because you got more done. You don't have to be catching up the last minute because you didn't get it done earlier.
Right, because the end of your day is basically, I wanted the end of my day to be home. You know what I mean? Like, home ends my day. But home ends my day till I get to 7 o'clock and my new day starts. That needed to happen in my head in order to accomplish my goals. So I really, yeah, I think sometimes I dive in a little too deep into the pool, but I think that this is sort of what I need to do to accomplish those things. So,
Now, Chris, a lot of people I reach out to are in retail. I know you know a lot too. And I know you have a lot of experience in the retail industry, so to speak, grocery especially. I started out there years ago. So, using some of that experience, if you're in retail, obviously we know we're improving if sales are growing, but is there another metric than just sales where you can say, yes, I'm growing, I'm accomplishing something?
I think it has to. Man, I'm a crazy person with my business, and when I was a manager, I wanted to know who came into my store, who I was hiring, um, who was coming in, how they fit in, and I had to always have a plan for somebody. So again, going back to always improving, in my interviews, what do you hope to get out of this job? What are you hoping for? Oh, I just need something for after school. Okay, then that, you know what I mean. At least they were honest with me, but if you just can start improving, man, you start improving morale, you start talking to people, you start getting to know them on a more personal level, you start giving people days off when they ask for things that they're passionate about. Like, I always had kids, it was a minimum wage job. Most of the time that grocery store bagger is your first job,
Right.
and I'll never forget, some of those kids just wanted a day off for a video game coming out. And their managers would be so mad. They would be so mad because they can't relate to that, right? They can't
Chris,
relate.
when I was in carryout back then, I was in the school. We didn't have video games yet.
But even if that was an album or that was a concert or that was something, like, give those guys their days off for the things they're passionate about. Don't tell them that, no, you're not getting that day off because, the ad's breaking that day and I need you to hang tags. That's not going to get you anywhere. That's just going to get them to hate coming to work. But if, they come to work, they have somebody that cares about the things that they're passionate about, or all their sports teams. There's 70 plus employees. I could tell you each one of their sports teams, who they root for, probably who their favorite band was. Because I thought that mattered whenever we're talking about improving. You can't improve a big box store, a lot of people, if you don't know them. If you're just pushing out the numbers all the time. But it goes back to before, is if you just improve, you do things like that, the numbers come along with it.
The
To answer your
paradigm,
question, Coach Mike, I didn't mean to,
yeah, no, very good, Chris. Thank you. The paradigm with so many in the corporate world, professional, whatever you want to call it, is you can't be too close to your employees like that because that causes problems. Or, you know, how did you face? Do you ever have any issues in that situation?
we had a lot of issues, but you say as far as like the corporate world coming in and,
Well,
and
no, but
doing things, or
getting to know your employees too well, or like you say, you know their teams, you're relating to them. I think that's a good idea. But yet there's a lot of people, oh no, you don't want to know your people that well, You're too
well,
close.
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying you guys should, buy bunk beds and move in together or anything. I'm not saying you need to be that close, but I tell you what, man, I built a crew I was really, really proud of. Every time I walked into the store, I was proud of the guys that were there, the girls that were there, and the work we were doing. Um, yeah, it- I just feel like you should know that if you're going to be good at what you do, and you're going to say, "Hey, go get carts," or even something like, "Hey, that's the cart guy." We never had a cart guy. We did it as a collective. We would go out as a group because everybody hated doing it. Like no one wants to go out there. Like right now, it's January 1st. It's probably, I didn't even look at the weather, but I mean, I'm sure it's snow and cold.
So on the,
Could you imagine telling one person, "Hey, you're in charge of carts today"? You know what I
you know
mean?
how much,
Like that's miserable.
Chris, when I had to go out and get carts, you know how much snow I had to deal with in 1967 or 69 in Phoenix, Arizona?
Wind. You did deal with wind.
No, not even wind, buddy. Not even wind. Chris, how was your 2025? Where did you start the year off? Did you meet expectations? What did you learn for 2025?
Well, it's funny. I look back at the goals, and it, people think when you make goals, you gotta really stick with them, and you see it through. But my goals were, I really wanted to grow my Facebook page with the Hickory algorithm. I really wanted to grow the YouTube. I really wanted to make. I just wanted to grow those things, and 2025, it was corny, but it was growth. Just get growth. But probably in July or August, probably a little over halfway through the year, I realized that's just it's a hollow goal to me. Like it sounds good. It sounds like a goal you should have. But when I was halfway through the year, and I'm pumping out podcast and doing those things, but it just felt like, I don't want to say the quality wasn't there. I felt like I needed to connect more with people. I needed to, this needed to be a little more personable. And in order for me to make it more personable for other people, well, then I have to double down on myself and make it more personable for me. So I had to show more about myself. And so right around July or August, I made a shift to, instead of pushing heavy marketing and trying to sell all the time, I really cooled the brakes a little bit and just started writing a little more about what I wanted to write about, and to record episodes, just reaching out to you whenever we did our thing. You know what I mean? Just make it spontaneous and say, why don't we do a quick promo, and we'll do you got the 90s, the 30 seconds and 90 minutes coming up. You know what I mean? Like see, I got it. I think that was right.
90 minutes to
But
pass you 30 seconds.
there we go. Yeah, exactly. Uh,
Thanks, Chris.
yeah, I got you, buddy.
Hey, you slipped it in there. You know what they Actually,
So
that's a
yeah,
good
man.
memory, Chris. Chris, that's a
Yeah.
good memory technique because the fact that you jumbled it, we're laughing about it. Somebody will remember, but what are they talking about?
Oh
We'll
yeah,
remember.
for sure. So that was my goals for 2025, but I got halfway through the year and sort of realized that those were feeling a little hollow, and I really didn't have a lot of control over it. And my marketing strategy has always been breadcrumbs. Lead them to you. Don't tell them everything you can do. Get put the breadcrumbs in place and lead them to you. Because once they come to you, you know that you're going to have a genuine conversation. You're going to have a connection to them because they know a little bit more about you. Because that's how I started wanting to do business. I wanted to do business with people, not companies. I wanted to do business with, hey, if I need constant contact, I'm going to go see Coach Mike. There's nobody else I'm going to go see, because of the relationship that we have. So I really doubled down on that. But the only way I could do it was by, opening up a little more about myself and not writing about other people all the time. No, I had to write a little more about myself. So that's what was my 2025 goal, and that's sort of where it took me to here, you know. So how about you, Coach Mike? What was your 2025 goal? How'd that turn out?
2025. I'm still the jury's still out. I mean, I'm pretty pleased. Of course, I work on a little different. I don't need to make X amount of in because of where I'm at now. So I'm blessed in that regard. I'm not rich or nothing, but I know, I want to succeed. I want to grow the business, but yet I don't have the pressure of having to do it yesterday. You know what I mean? So that's a big plus. I didn't really know what to expect from this year because I was trying some new things. Like I said, I tied up, went back to Constant Contact, tied up with them, signed up with LifeWave this summer, just working on the public speaking side of things, working on the podcast. But yet, one of the things that's been a battle for me almost all my life was the thing I teach Chris about getting that 30-second commercial down. I'm great at teaching you how to do yours or somebody else how to do theirs, but I still have to work harder to nail mine down because I do different things. And, that was something that woke me up uh, almost 10 years ago now when my friend Michael came up to me and we were in a group called the Whittier Breakfast Club. And my friend Michael Aguilar came up to me. He said, Coach Mike, he says, I know what you do, but I really don't know what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going, wow, he's right. Because I was in this habit of trying to throw either too much in at one time or changing every week instead of focus on one thing for a period, maybe move a little forward. And so that really got me into learning to focus on that for myself. And I do a lot better now. Occasionally, I still find myself falling back into an old habit. And then I got to wake up when I go home that day. But so 2026 is going to be bigger for me because now I know a lot more about what I want to do for this year, where I want to grow, where I want to go with the podcasts. And I think and my big thing is I can spend more time helping other people and helping them grow because especially younger people starting their careers or maybe even midway small business, their pressure's on them a lot more. So if I can help ease that with experience I've had or, just sharing everything like this, then I'm glad to do it. So I'm looking to pick up some sponsors and really grow this thing this year. And I learned a lot from some of these Substack uh, webinars or newsletters. And they're
Yeah.
saying, don't do this old thing everybody has did. You got to don't depend on, I got to have 5,000 subscribers or I'm losing. Like you said, it's about the relationships, about the connections. And I think that's where we're focused. What are you going to do for 2026?
Whew. Well, I'll just I got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of swords in the fire, even with
You got a
you
big
know.
sword this year, brother.
Yeah, we're gonna really I'm gonna try and make the algorithm a little more I'm gonna have the writing a little more personable. I have some long-term projects, that you've actually helped me. You've influenced me a good bit about getting into, because I was writing some long-term stuff after I took that screenwriting class. I started getting into that, and then it really struck an itch with me. And man, I'm probably in between probably 3 to 4 different long-term writing things, and seeing you getting yours out there and reading yours is just fueled me to keep going. So I mean, you're a big part of that, Coach Mike.
Thank you.
It's fun. It's funny
You know,
whenever you start creating things as a human being, and I'm just now learning this at the age of 43. But you start creating things that are uniquely yours and your lens, just like you and your RFK and the Phoenix Protocol, and that whole world that you started fleshing out. You start doing things like that, man, and I tell you what, if it lands on the right person's lap, and you can't control that, right? But if it lands on the right person's lap, you can really inspire them to do things. And I think that once you start creating, whether that's art, whether that's the Hickory algorithm, whether it's this podcast, whether it's anything, sourdough bread, just start creating something, and I'm just not, the rest of your life gets better. So 2026, a lot of my goals are dipping my toes into things I would never think to dip my toes into. That's sort of the long, short answer.
we're going to expect more details later there, Chris. I put your logo and let me get my right side, your
You're
QR
good.
code for the algorithm there. And I check, Chris puts out a newsletter every Friday morning. I love to read it. And he puts some good stuff, and he brings in stuff that people he meets and does his podcast with that sometimes I wouldn't even thought about. Well, I just read another book, Chris. I don't know if you saw that one. The Woven in Time. This gal, Jessica Ann, I found her on Substack, and she had this book. She's looking for people to read her book and everything. And it's about 3 women. And I'm not going to give away, it's a really cool book. When I first started reading it, it's okay. We'd call that a chick flick back in the day, right? So
Right.
probably not my major cup of tea, although I used to watch a lot of LMN movies that had good mysteries, murder mystery, but I started reading this thing in the first chapter. I said, oh man, okay, I committed to do it. The more I read, it is like a 500-page book.
Whoa.
I haven't read the only 500-page book I've read in the last 10 years is the Bible.
Did you finish it?
Yeah. And so I read this thing in about a week. And I really get her on Substack. This thing was really cool. And the more you got into it, I thought, wow, it was an interesting concept, interesting concept. I loved her writing, a little wordy at times to start out.
I mean, 500 pages, man.
Huh?
Just thinking about writing 500 pages and how wordy I would have to get. You know what I mean? How wordy would you have to get for 500 pages?
It took her a while to do it. She's already having some success. I mean, my Phoenix Protocol is like, 110 pages or something,
Yeah.
I'd show you a copy because I had a guy at church. I gave him a copy like I did you to give me some reviews on here. Next thing you know, he said, Mike, I want to buy a couple more from you. I ordered in 10 for me, So I bought, awesome. Sold it to him. Then this last week, he said, Mike, do you have any left? I said, well, I got one. I got another order coming. He said, I got to buy that. My grandson saw it. I didn't get it back. Okay. And people are getting into it. So hopefully.
Yeah, I actually read, hold on. I got something here. I was reading your book here.
There you go.
And it's funny, it's funny what I wrote down. I didn't write down any kind of like big details. You know what I wrote down? The things I wanted to hear more about.
Okay.
I wanted to hear, ready? This is like, it's so funny. This is sitting right in front of me, by the way. I said I wanted to know more about JFK in the bunker being mentally strained, like what he was seeing. But I was like, I know what, and that's just me wanting to know about people, right? That's just me being
right.
As my mom. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I want to know what that's like in his head with what has happened to him and what physical strain that is. I thought that was cool. Just because he's all alone. You have them all alone down there. That's awesome. Um, One thing I actually started writing about it, was the story of Tom Jenkins, who was found dead in New York. One of
Okay.
JFK's trusted aides. He was ruled dead by a mugging, but he was killed by poison. And then whenever I was reading that, I just came up with this whole backstory in the back of my head, and it's stuff like that, man. That like,
That's where I got going, man.
yeah, I was like, that's awesome. So yeah, I have this. I wrote it on the back of a envelope that came in, and I just left it right here by my computer. So yeah, that was yeah.
You
And
need
then
this
yeah,
app I got, Chris. I found an app, a sticky notes app. I'll send you the link to what it's not the main. But it's an online sticky notes. So I got little notes I can post up, and you can tell it put this on top so it'll show up over everything. So I got little notes if I need to remind something. So
yeah,
envelope there.
yeah. I just wrote it down.
Hey, that's mega guys like me. They always talk about conspiracy theories. Hey, that was my favorite. One of my favorite movies is Conspiracy Theory, and what did Mel Gibson say in there? The best conspiracy is one that nobody can prove.
Yep.
So what do you do? What do you get?
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take away from that poor.
Oh,
You wrote about 500 pages, and I just sort of steamrolled her there. I'm sorry.
I've got two sequels coming, brother. Got two sequels coming, and you talk about dipping your toe in and taking a risk. I've taken a dip in AI. I didn't create a banner or a QR code, or did I? Let me see. Send me a link if you want it. I'm using Galaxy AI.
Okay.
And I found it's cheaper than ChatGPT, but includes ChatGPT as part of it. You got a bunch of tools. I'm still not an AI guy. I watch Terminator. Okay, I know what's coming. Man. Right? You got to be careful.
My kids are going to see it. I don't think I am, but they will for sure.
Searching and creativity. Some of the things like this image, my background image was I did that with the chat on there. I think there is some room for it. I think some obvious cool stuff, but that is something, and I'm dipping into that. And the ChatGPT helped me, and Gemini a little bit also helped me write my books, my Phoenix Protocol. I directed the direction. I said, here's the idea, because I'm, like you, I'm saying, okay, here's my conspiracy here. What if this happened? So then I started down and says, well, yeah, here, what about that? And I'll tell you what's scary, Chris, and this will be something I'm going to watch for 2026. They're talking a little bit online. The conversations these robots have they're cool, but they're a little scary.
Are you talking about with people or with themselves?
No, the ChatGPT, while I'm creating whatever I'm creating, and I'll tell you, okay, when I'm working on the Phoenix Protocol, I don't know if I told you this or not. I'm working on the Phoenix Protocol, and I said, okay, I'm going to try this AI stuff a little bit and see where it goes. So I said, I'm a little anti-AI. I'm not afraid of it, but I'm a little worried about it. And because I watched Terminator, and it comes back and it says, oh, that's understandable when you got the Terminator, the Matrix, and there was something else, and all this future stuff. So then it goes on, it gives me ideas for the Phoenix Protocol. The last thing it says to me, it says, I think John Connor really would have appreciated having a coach like you. I'm saying,
and you're like, I don't like that.
Oh my God. Oh my. I can't believe it. How did I come? There's got to be a person on the other end of that.
Yeah, that happened to me one time. I remember telling my wife that me and ChatGPT were going to break up for a while. I was like, it said something to me. I can't remember, but it just like how it said to you, where it was like, I didn't ask for that information. I didn't ask for, like, we need to keep this as we're not getting into this kind of back and forth, because I think that's I'm worried more for people that don't have. You and I have people to talk to, You and I, we see each other, twice, 3 times a week sometimes, right? So But I worry about the people that don't have relationships that have ChatGPT. That scares me, man. That's where like we
You
we
see
we
the big,
joke about the Terminator stuff,
yeah.
but what about the people that haven't had friends their whole life and they're just shooting these things into ChatGPT and really I think it could really hurt some people mentally, man. And that's what scares me. And I hate to go on a dark turn for this ChatGPT thing, but it scares me, man. That's what scares me more than anything about it.
Chris, you and I do a Coach Mike now, because the Coach Mike now is, we discuss a lot more and go a lot deeper, and we're gonna have to do one because I got the lawsuits on it. I'm not going into all that, because we'll
Yeah.
get deep. We can get deep real quick, and you know that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm with you, brother. And that, like I said, that blew my mind to say that. It's one thing I expected to be able to do because it can do a search so much faster than I can do.
Yep.
But to come back with something like that just freaked me out. Chris, 2026 is before us. No man is promised tomorrow. That's why the future is a gift, right? And we'll take every day that we can. I look forward to this year networking with you and just doing a lot of cool stuff. So thank you for kicking the ear off with me here. And let's go forward and do it big time.
Yeah, I'm honored for you to ask me, man. And you keep doing the good work, man. You inspire me to do things. And I don't know why you and I even get on before this starts and we talk about 20 minutes. It just doesn't, it's never going to happen.
What's 20 minutes?
We're lucky we get through. I mean, some of our leads meetings are shorter than this, dude. You know what I mean?
God bless you, Chris. Hey,
all right,
hang
thanks,
around
Chris,
there.
Mike. Have a good one, buddy.
Hang around there for a bit. Let's wrap this thing up. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're with us for kicking off this new year. Do it with Coach Mike here, and Chris will be joining me sometimes. We'll get this thing. We want to have a successful 2026. So let's remember, we got to keep improving every day. God bless you and have a great day.